So it's testing. Can you hear me, guys?
It just hit. Go ahead, test.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Volume.
Good. People are still coming on.
Yep, we're going to wait 1 minute and we'll get started, everyone. Hopefully we can get through this. Got a lot to go over. Some exciting information for our upcoming season. Get started in 1 minute. Try and share with your friends. Try and get this out as much as we can. I know we sent an email out to the membership about a half hour ago, so hopefully people are able to tune in. But this will be on Facebook, on YouTube, so people can watch the recording at a later time. All right, so let's get started. Welcome, everyone. My name's Christopher Vialli. For those of you who don't know me, which I think everyone does, but I am the NEBA president for 1 more year, and following me will be Bruce Hall and then Stephen Major 2 years after that. I'm going to start today by just going over the annual meeting, the takeaways from the changes that are going to happen in 2022. The NEBA survey that went out to the membership, we'll go through that. Then we'll get into the 2020-2021 year-end results, the champions for the different divisions for the 2-year-long run at that. And then we'll jump into the 2022 season and everything that we've got set up for that, which is pretty incredible. So we sent a survey out to the membership. We do this every year right before the annual meeting. All the agenda items that are going to be discussed at the annual board meeting, we want to hear from our membership, their take on the different things that we're considering for the future of the club. The response rate was great. A little over, right around 20% of our members responded to the survey. Close to 40% of our members that bowled more than 3 tournaments did reply to the survey. So it was a really good set of information that we had to act at the annual board meeting for the different things we were looking to either change, update, or evolve to. I do want to welcome AJ Villa and Frank Halka, 2 new board members. They've volunteered their time to be active on our board. All of our board members did come back this year, except for Matt Farber. He set aside some time to help us last year and wasn't really able to attend much this year. But he's been very helpful to me, especially when it comes to some of the technology stuff that we're trying to do. So thank you, Matt, for your time, and thank you everyone else for serving again on the board. All right, so the takeaways from the board meeting. I think the one major thing is we are reducing the entry fee for all regular events next year down to $80 an event. It has been $95 for a while. We surveyed the membership. We had a lot, lots, one at 80, 90, some 100. But after deliberation at the board level, it was unanimous that we are going to drop down to $80 for regular events. Second thing is squad cuts. To keep the integrity of the prize fund as good as we can, the squad cuts will now be 1 in 6 and 1 in 5 overall instead of 1 in 5 and 1.45 overall. And what that does is, in some instances, there'll be 8 less finalists. depending on entry counts. But it should keep the prize funds pretty much intact based on the entry counts that we get. So that is a change in the squad cuts. We are going to hold our first ever youth event. That's pretty exciting. So we decided that, with so many youth bowlers bowling NEBA now, why not have just an event that's dedicated to our youth? And we're going to be doing that. We think it's going to be just confirming right now with Chicopee, but should be June 4th at Chicopee. They'll get back to me tomorrow to make that confirmation. So that's pretty cool. It'll be our first ever just standalone youth event prior to our Saturday night squad at Chicopee and Sunday regular format. We did form a marketing and social media committee. And this group is really going to focus on doing a better job with making sure our different social media platforms are being utilized and that we're marketing our membership better. We want to get as much feedback from the membership as we can along the season, just to help us guide exactly, changes that we might think need to be made to just make it, a better club. We are, the committee has been formed, but we are looking for one youth bowler to volunteer his or her time to help guide the committee. So please get the word out. We are looking for a youth bowler to volunteer to serve on this marketing and social media committee. We think it's important to have, a youthful presence in everything we're trying to do. Let's see, single squad tournaments will not have a re-oil before the finals in 2022. This is to save time. It's one squad. These are one squad only tournaments like the senior, the women. So in 2022, instead of re-oiling before the finals, we'll go right in. It's not too much of a burn. Obviously, it's only been one squad, and this will save time and get the finals moving quicker. Another change is when we have 40 qualifiers, just like we just had at Auburn. There's 3 on a pair the first round, 2 make it, 1 loses. We are changing that to have 24 buys now. So 16 will come in, 8 will win. They'll join the 24 buys, and then we're off to 32 going forward, just single elimination like normal. So that's a change that we've made to the finals when there are 40 qualifiers. No PBA style courtesy for 2022. It was proposed that we do the major events in the PBA style courtesy. We've grappled with this for years on, what can work best for the club. And, we went back and forth at the board meeting, the annual board meeting, and it was split. And I had to cast the vote on whether or not we would try this at our major events and just do our normal format 2 lanes throughout the rest of the year. And I just felt that might even cause more confusion. So that did not pass the PBA style courtesy for those. Eliminate a format. So the semifinals, when there's 4 left, they were on 2 separate pairs. We are going to combine that and have the 4 semifinalists bowl on the same pair. That's just for pair equity to make it a little bit more fair. One pair could be bad, the other pair could be good. We've seen this happen at some of our eliminator style formats where one pair, the 2 bowlers bowl 230 and the other pair struggle. So now we're just going to have all 4 bowl the semifinals on one pair. If you've been a member for 30 years or more, your membership will be free on a going forward basis. There is a committee that's been set up because we can't go back in time. We don't have data that go back in time to determine whether or not someone's been a member for 30 years. But if you feel that you've been a member for 30 years and you haven't had, years off due to, not due to injury, you just took 5 years off or whatever it might be, you can submit to be approved to have a time-free waiver of any membership fees going forward. So it's just a way for us to acknowledge some of our longtime members. NEBA doubles for the regular open field events on the agenda. We talked about dropping the 10-year champion down to 5 years. The only one that passed on that was if you're 60 years or older. then it's 5 years. So if you had won a tournament 6 years ago and you're 60 years old, you are considered a non-champ when you're forming your teams for regular field doubles. This will apply also to our trios tournament that we're having. For the trios event, you're allowed to have one multiple champion, one non-champ, and one person that has won one tournament. And that 60-year or over rule applies to whether or not you're considered a non-champ or a multiple year champ. So those rosters can be made up of all non-champs. They can be made up of all bowlers that have only won once. You cannot have somebody that has won multiple times. You can't have two people. So that's the rules. But there'll be online, there'll be rules about all the different special events that we're having. Let's see. NEBA score announcements during the squads will be suspended going forward. If you guys have noticed, we have access to the Google Sheets. You can actually get live updates right on your phone. Not that we want people on their phones while we're bowling, because we don't want squads to take longer. But the sheets will still come out like they do, posted, every couple pairs. But you do have access to the Google Sheets, which is updated real time. Part of the, the incredible work that Dave Kipperman's doing on the software and the enhancements to, bring us, bring our technology into the 21st century or even further, gives us access to be able to see the scores. And we all know that when those announcements happens, sometimes it can throw somebody off making a shot, or, you pause. So that we don't see any reason why Dan has to do those announcements for the scores. All of his normal tournament director announcements will still happen. Let's see. Lane patterns for 2022. Okay, so one of the things that we've heard from the membership is that the lanes have been too tough, that they've been, the patterns have been too difficult, and they've been similar lengths. So what we've done is we've formed a committee that's meeting this Thursday night to start their work. It's a 5-person committee made up of the board members. And their role is to develop a year-long process to actually, what we're hoping we can do is post exactly the range of the shots that are going to be at each event. So it could be a 4-to-1 range, it could be an 8-to-1 range. The major events will stay tough. All the majors, the Invitational, the Masters, the Tournament Champions, those will stay in the sports shot realm. But what we're trying to do, what we're going to do in 2022 is have diversity on length of patterns and a little bit more softer patterns. So that's a big change. And we've heard from the membership, and we think that that's going to be a welcome change to the lane conditions in the 2022 season. Those are all of my updates from the board meeting. We also did form a NEBA network. There's a committee that Amy started in regards to the NEBA network. And what this is going to be is pretty cool. So if you're a NEBA member and you are a professional in some service, we are going to be setting up a, I don't know if it's a hyperlink or a link that you can display the services that you offer. So that members, if you're looking to get a mortgage, we've got real estate agents, we've got mortgage lenders. If you're looking to get your car repaired, we've got people in that business. If you're looking for electrical work done at your house, we've got people in that business. They're all different professionals amongst the membership. And why not network and keep, all of that work within the family of the NEBA membership? So that committee's started their work. And sometime early this year, hopefully we'll have something lifted up for that as well, which is pretty cool. All right, so with that, I'm going to just touch on a couple things before we celebrate the 2021-20 season winners. There's a couple perceptions that we hear quite frequently from NEBA members or, bowlers that aren't NEBA members. And I just want to, get some facts out there. one of the things that we hear is, why bowl NEBA when the same group of bowlers always make the cut? Yeah, that's true. There are some elite bowlers within the NEBA club that make generally almost every cut they bowl. But we did a deep dive into the data, and for the past 3 years, we've had 1,100 different individuals bowl NEBA, 1,100 different individuals, and of that, 400, a little over 400, have made a cut. So it's almost 40% of the people that have bowled NEBA in the past 2.5, 3 years have made the cut. Not 10%, not 20%. It's 40% of our bowlers have cashed that have participated. We've got a lot of those 1,100 bowlers that were guests or only bowled once or twice because maybe they didn't, they didn't have a great experience. The lanes were a little bit harder than what they expected. But overall, 40% of our bowlers made the cut. That's a pretty good stat. So for those out there that, have this notion that only, a select handful of good bowlers always make the cut and they take all the money, well, those are facts. Another thing that we hear is, too much of my entry fee goes to expenses. And I'm not sure how we can be more transparent on this front. It's very clearly stated in our bylaws that $8 of your entry fee goes toward expenses associated with running the events. $12.50 goes toward lineage. Every center is a little bit different, but we average it out to $12.50. And $1 goes to the invitational, the event that I sponsor, and the rest goes to the prize fund. No one owns NEBA. No one else benefits from NEBA. We pay our management of NEBA fair and reasonable prices. I would even argue that they don't get paid enough for what they do. And the rest goes into the prize funds to do what we do. The expenses associated with running NEBA is really set aside just for that. It's set aside for very small amounts for the technology and the NEBA management staff. The sponsor money that we get every year goes toward the general fund. Some of it goes to a general fund that pays for a lot of the promotional work that we do. And the majority of the money that comes in from sponsors goes to special prize funds, special awards, or direct prize funds of events, which will go over the 2022 season. So truly, NEBA is run for NEBA. If you were to look at some of the other clubs around the country, and even the PBA, it's hard to determine exactly what they take out and what they do. NEBA is very clear. It's very transparent. So I just want to get that on the table. There's also, there's this idea that there's only a select handful of people that run the club, right? That there's only, I don't know, a handful of people that control everything that happens at NEBA. Well, it's really not the case, but anybody can volunteer to be on the board. Anybody can do that. It just so happens that there are several people that volunteer their time all the time for NEBA. And whether that's myself, whether it's Forey, whether it's, Ed, Bruce, there's a whole host of people that have really dedicated a lot of their time to help the club and be part of the board and everything that we do. But anybody could be part of that. There's not a single time that I've been involved in a situation where someone raised their hand and said, I would love to be on the board. I'd love to participate. I'd love to help. And we said no. It never would happen. We urge our members to be active. We urge our members to come to board meetings. So if there's this notion that only a few control everything that happens at NEBA, it's only true because we're the only ones volunteering our time to really serve. And we are always soliciting input from members, whether it be through surveys, whether it be through direct interaction with our members. So please, if you have an opinion, you have something you want us to consider at any given time, we are wide open for all of that. All right, so with that, let's move to celebrate the winners of this past 2-year season that we had. Let me share the screen. All right, stats got updated this afternoon. There were a couple errors in some of the programming behind the scenes. So this is the official results of the 2020-2021 COVID NEBA seasons. We did, as best as we could to get through the pandemic and get to where we are today. And let's congratulate the folks that really bowled incredible during that time frame. Randy Hagemeiser, winner, bowler of the year. Aaron Major, second. The two of them battled throughout, especially this year. They both bowled really, really good. And, hats off to them. Great job, Randy. Congratulations. Alex Aguiar was our high average. Aaron, look at how consistent. Second in bowler of the year points, second in average. 138 games, too. 220. It's pretty cool. Alex, 222. I don't know how many times you've been the high average, but I know it's been several. Great job, Alex. As we keep coming down, rookie of the year was Kenny Livingood, one of our Albany area bowlers. First of all, dynamite. Good job, Kenny. He was our rookie of the year. If we go to the senior of the year, some schlep by the name of me actually was able to prevail on that front, only because Todd didn't bowl the last few tournaments. And he would have probably beat me out for that one. Super Senior of the Year, we actually had a tie. The stats were a little bit off. They were 3 points off, and Dave Kipperman found the technical error in the software, and Scott was able to update all of this earlier today. So Bruce Hall and John Kirker are co-champions of the Super Senior of the Year. And from what I understand, I'm not on the Hall of Fame committee, but that makes John Kirker eligible for the Hall of Fame and gets Bruce a little bit closer. So congrats, gentlemen. Good bowling. Woman of the Year was Amanda Broge. Incredible the second half of the year, how good she bowled. Some of these hard shots, she really dominated on the lanes, not just from a female standpoint, but all the bowlers in general. So really, really great bowling, Amanda. Youth of the Year was Brandon Vallone. If I'm not mistaken, this is a fellow WPer, William Patterson. Just edged out Nate Purchase, and we all know Nate. Incredible youth, both of you guys. Great bowling. Brandon, congratulations on the Youth of the Year award. And that sums up all of our champions for the 2-year season that we had. So great job, everyone. All right, so let's move on to this year coming up. Let me change to here. All right, so what I'm going to do, because there's a lot to talk about. We have, if you look at the far right, it's the Paul Forey Memorial, 10,000. It's like a FedEx Cup event. And then we've got, that's from obviously Chris Forey for his dad, Paul Forey. And then we have Joanne Herman for the Bowling Seriously Women's Cup. I'm going to go into that after we go through the schedule and what those events are and how they're going to play out throughout the year. So let's get into the schedule. All right, so we start with Callahan's Bowlerama at Newington. This is the Cambridge Invitational. We've got roughly about 7,000 added to that tournament. It's $1 per entry for the past 2 years, plus Cambridge adds 3,500. Now, for the top 16 in points for the year, for the 2 years, gets a bye in the first round. Now, what that means for everyone else in qualifying is that you do not have to qualify against the top 16 point getters for the 2-year season. So you are bowling not against those 16. You'll be bowling against the rest of the field that has bowled at least 5 events over the course of the 2 years. The entry fee is $150. 25 of that goes to side pots and brackets, and $125 is the entry fee for this particular tournament with the 7,000 added. So I urge everyone who has bowled 5 tournaments to play in that. But again, because in the qualifying round, you are not bowling against the top 16 point getters. The second round after you make the finals is a super match play 8-game, four people on a pair. You get pins for each person you beat over 8 games until we get to the step ladder of the top 4. Great event. So that's where we start, the Callahan's Bolorama. Thank you, Lisa and Callahan's team, for hosting us there. Next event is the AMF Circle Lanes, which is many styles of bowling. LaRue is our sponsor for that event. Also at this event, Bowling Seriously, which is Joanne Herman, is giving us a discount. She is paying half of the entry fee for every woman bowler for their first squad. So it's $40 for a woman to bowl their first squad. Myself and Amy are also doing a special for our women bowlers this year. And what we're offering is $20 for any member who brings a first-time female, a first-time women bowler to NEBA. So if you've got a friend or a bowler that has never bowled NEBA in the past and they come to an event, you will get $20 off of your entry fee for that particular event. That's something that me and Amy are doing, trying to support everything that Joanne is doing for our women bowlers. Joanne is giving us $5,000 for different things to help support women's bowling this year. So that's what we're doing on top of that. All right, so we're in Connecticut now. We go back to Rhode Island for our trios event in February. We did trios years and years ago. We're bringing it back. We've had a lot of people that have expressed interest. I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you form a team? What are the parameters around that? We talked about that earlier. You're allowed to have one multi-champion. You have to have one non-champ, and the other person can be a one-time title holder or a non-champ. You could have 3 one-time champions. You could have 3 non-champions. You can only have 1 multiple champion bowler on your team. The next day is going to be our doubles. Sponsored. Let me back up. The trios is sponsored by East Coast Sports Investors. That's Jeff Dawson. He does an incredible job. If you're into sports, you can follow him, and you might be able to put a couple shillings aside a week. So he does a great job with that. Jeff is a good friend of ours, and we love his support. The next events are doubles, Strike FX, and that obviously is Alex and John Van Hees, longtime supporters of NEBA. This is a standard doubles event, so that the regular rules apply here. And the only difference is if you're over 60, it's a 5-year limit on champion to be able to bowl with another champion. So we move then to Hall of Fame Silver Lanes in East Hartford, March. That's Bull Winkle's Pro Shop. Rich Reynolds, longtime sponsor as well. That's his event. That's a singles event. That'll be in Hartford. Next event is April 9th and 10th. Singles at Nutmeg. This is Buddy's Pro Shop. This is home center. Chris Forey. He adds $1,000 to this prize fund. And that's April 9th and 10th. Thank you, Chris, for your continued support. Obviously, the longest sponsor that we've had is Chris. Might be me or might be him. I don't know, either one. I think it's Chris. All right, next event is a senior tournament, our first senior tournament of the year, which is going to be at Walnut Hill Bowl in Woonsocket. And this is Logo Infusion. Kenny Keegan and his team, Shannon Pulaski has now joined their team, is going to be working with us on the promotion side of things for I Am Bowling Logo Infusion. And they provide us with champion shirts for every first-time champion, or every champion in the 2020-2000 season will get a Logo Infusion champion shirt. And we are working on designs to be able to choose from. And it's if you are a champion, if you're a multiple champion, you only get 1 shirt. All right, next event, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. All right. The following day, we have the seniors on April 30th. The following day, at Walnut Hills, the non-champs. And this is sponsored by East Mitchell, Bowling Supply, Vinny Grizan, childhood friend of mine, does a great job in the sport of bowling, sponsoring an awful lot. Longtime NEBA sponsor. Vinny also sponsors our annual golf outing, which again will be in Keene this coming year. I think the date is, I think it's July 30th. We'll have more information on that. Thank you, Vinny. Next tournament, we are heading north. We are going to Rutland, Vermont. This was scheduled for 2020. Obviously, the pandemic threw that one for a loop. But John Wilbur and staff at Rutland Bowl is sponsoring us, the Green Mountain Open. For those of you who have not bowled in that, it's a great event up in Keene. Not in Rutland. It runs similar time with Keene. They overlap a little bit, but it's pretty cool. You go up to Rutland, you bowl on a Saturday, come back down through, hit Keene on a Sunday. Those team singles and doubles events are always widely participated by NEBA members, and it's a really good time. So thank you again, John, and we're looking forward to our first time at Rutland Bowl with NEBA. All right, then we head back south down to Chicopee, my home center, and our youth event is scheduled for June 4th, not confirmed yet. Tomorrow I will confirm with the management at Chicopee. She was on vacation, Megan, but she felt that there were no conflicts, so I think we're good to go there. And that's going to be sponsored by Dexter. Our team at Dexter has been with us. Paul Sylvia wants to do a lot more to promote Dexter this year, so we will be working with Paul and his team. There'll also be smart money added to the prize fund of this event. We're still working on those details and what the entry fee will be. It'll be discounted. It won't be the $80. It'll be a smaller amount. And we are working on the details of that youth event. We're really excited and believe that, we really can pull quite a group in for such an event. Hopefully we can fill the house that early afternoon or late morning. That'll be prior to our night squad there for our regular event, which is sponsored by Savage Arms. Al Casper, extremely good golfer, a good friend of ours. He's been sponsoring us for a few years now. This is our home center. So thank you, Al, for all you do to help support us and the leagues at Chicopee as well. And then we go to Cranston, back off to Rhode Island for our over-under doubles. Turbo Grips, Chris Sand and team, long-time sponsor again, been with us, supporting us. And, that'll be the over-under standard doubles tournament that we have. And the following day will be just a regular doubles. And this is sponsored by Greg Flamond, Grog Monster Sports, our second sports advisory sponsor that we have. Greg Flamond, all of us have known him for a very long time. Really good guy. He's bowled on my team many years. He's going through some injury problems. That's why we haven't seen him on the lanes. But as you know, he's been very successful. And to have him on board as a sponsor is incredible. And that's going to be at Cranston. Next tournament is going to be in July at Callahan's Bolorama. Lisa Callahan and the Callahan family are hosting this event, and they are adding $2,000 to the prize fund of this event. $2,000 they're adding to the prize fund. So we can't thank Lisa and the family enough for everything they do for bowling. They host a lot of events there. And thank you again, Lisa. Newington Bowl, and that's July 16th and 17th. Then we head up to Keene. We've got Mr. Barden, Jeff Barden, sponsoring our special weekend. We do have the golf outing, so apparently that's going to be on the 29th because it's always that Friday before the Saturday, Sunday events. Jeff is adding $1,000 again to the doubles event. That's going to be held on Saturday, and the singles event that's held on Sunday. Yankee Lanes is a great place. The little town there is fabulous. Keene, We always get a discount at one of the hotels in town to try and make it a little more affordable for people to stay over, for those that have to travel quite a bit. So we'll try and work on the same thing. And we do have a social event at one of the local clubs there, where we like to have a Hold'em game that Saturday night with some food catered in. So it's always a great weekend to get away and not only bowl in a competitive environment at Yankee Lanes, which Jeff and his staff do an incredible job with, but it's also, a nice social weekend away. So I urge, everyone to come up, especially golfers. We're going to really try and put on a good event this year on that Friday. So we come to August, and we are back at Hall of Fame Silver Lanes. We have a senior event that Saturday. We've got a new sponsor, Chicago Sam's. Ryan Keeley is the owner of Chicago Sam's. It's only about 12 minutes away from the center. So everyone, let's make sure that we patronize and go to his facility for some meals, whether it's, lunch between squads or whatever it might be. But thank you, Ryan, for hosting this or jumping in as a sponsor to help support the event. And then we have, this is the Masters weekend. So that senior event is on that Saturday. We have a women event on that Saturday, Bowling Seriously. That's Joanne again. She's adding $1,000 to the prize fund for the women's only event on that Saturday at Hall of Fame. $1,000 she's adding to the prize fund. So thank you, Joanne, for that. Should make for an incredible prize fund. And then it's Masters Sunday. We have our Masters tournament, and that is sponsored by Tony and Suzanne Renaud and Bloomfield Electric, which is good friend Roger Burrell. Tony and Suzanne, obviously we've known them for a long time. They used to, all three of them owned Hall of Fame at one time, but Tony and Suzanne for quite some time. The Reynolds are adding 1,000, and Mr. Burrell, Roger, is adding 2,500. So we have 35 added to the prize fund in August for that event. So thank you, everyone, for that, Tony, Suzanne, and Roger. Incredible support and generosity. Then we get to a big doubles event. So Bruce Hall came to us, and he wanted to honor his father, Vincent. And he's doing that by adding $6,000 to a doubles event at Auburn Lanes, September 17th and 18th. $6,000 is being added to this prize fund. This is going to be an open doubles event, over and under, but no title restrictions. So it's over and under with no title restrictions. So you could have bowlers, that have won 10 titles each. If they're over under, they can play together. This should make for a very, very strong field, because I know a lot of the bowlers will be looking, outside of NEBA to bring in somebody strong. Same thing though, if you've got a PBA regional or national title and you were not a member, you're not eligible to participate. Same thing with the PWBA. So that is September 17th and 18th at Auburn Lanes. Thank you again, Bruce. This is incredibly generous. $6,000 to honor your dad for this event. I know that you're looking forward to bowling with Andrew. You guys just won the Diggers last week. So hopefully you guys can make a run at this yourselves. But again, thank you, Bruce. All right, October 1st and 2nd, we go back to East Providence Lanes. This is KR Strike Force. This is their event. The team, Brian Beaver at KR, we're working on some promotional items that they're going to be offering to the membership at a discount. So we're working on the details of that as part of their sponsorship. So thank you again, Brian. Again, longtime sponsor. Then we come to Manchester, New Hampshire. So another new center that we're going to up north, Manchester. This is Mr. Barden again, Jeff Barden. He is providing us with $5,000 in prize money for senior and women on Saturday, $1,500 for each. So $1,500 is being added to the senior event, $1,500 is being added to the women's event, and then 2,000 to the singles event on that weekend. So 5,000 Jeff is adding to the prize fund for this event. Jeff, I can't thank you enough. 7,000 in total sponsorship, a donation to prize funds of events in your two centers. So thank you, Jeff. And we're looking forward to visiting Manchester for the first time. It's going to be really cool. And now as we're rounding out the schedule, we come down to non-champs at AMF Auburn. This is DJ's Pro Shop, John Zalowik, longtime sponsor. This is going to be on the 12th. And then the following day, thank you, John, for the sponsorship and the continued support. He does a great job. They have a good youth program, too, at Auburn. We got to see that firsthand on Saturday this past weekend. So it's really good to see some of the youth movements around our areas. And then on that Sunday is the Tournament of Champions. And, our title sponsor, which is Storm Rotogrip 900 Global, Leanne and Gary Heldensberg, we can't thank you guys enough. They've given us 45 balls throughout the year to help support our members. Same thing. There'll be 2 balls a tournament for a majority of the tournaments that you get vouchers for, based on one for a raffle and one for someone who is the first out of the cut. They are looking to do a lot more from a promotional standpoint this year as well. So we'll be working with their team to make sure that, finals are streamed, pictures of champions, things that we're going to try and do to make sure that the Storm Roto 900 global brands, the SPI brands of bowling, are represented as well as we can here in the Northeast. I don't know about you guys, but at my bowling center at Chicopee, when we go bowl our 5-man leagues, the racks are like 60, 70, 80% filled with these 3 brands of balls. So it's pretty cool to see that. So let's keep up the good work promoting their brand. Equipment's the best. We know that. So let's keep that ball going. And then the last tournament of the year is at Norwich. This is a senior event. Let me pull this down. Better Bowling Concepts. So we got a senior on Saturday, and that's sponsored by Better Bowler Concepts, which are our friends Bill Daly and John Kirker. That's that Saturday. Thank you guys for your continued support. And then on Sunday at Norwich is the Ideal Bowling Concepts, a new sponsor. Keith Lang has come to the table as a new sponsor. Thank you, Keith, for joining the team. And that is going to be the final tournament of the year. A lot of the sponsors that we don't have added money right now in the prize funds have indicated that they might be looking to add 500. So we don't have that slotted in yet, because as the season goes along, they'll let us know if we're going to be adding money to any of their events. But just keep that in mind as we're going through the season. All right, so now what we need to do, Amy just sent me something saying Brandon was an adult, Nate won the youth. All right, so breaking news, Brandon, although he's listed as the youth of the year, was not. It is Nate. So that's news to me. There you go. Breaking news from Amy. All right, so now I want to talk about the Paul Forey Series Cup, and also bowlingseriously.com Cup. So if we go back up, I'm going to move up here. So first I'm going to talk about Bowling Seriously and Joanne, what she's doing. She's given us $2,500 for a special 6-tournament series where points count for those 6 events for this $2,500 prize fund. On the far right, these are the allocations. So first place is going to get 800, second 500, and so on down the line. 8th place 125, and 7th 125. And it's going to be for the accumulation of points for 6 different events. So if you look in the column I, under Bowling Seriously Cup 2.5K, the first event is AMF Circle Lanes. That's the discounted event for women. So it only costs you half the entry fee to bowl that event. The first entry, you can obviously re-enter. So points for that event. Points for the second event is the Nutmeg, the singles event, where we're adding 1,000. The third event is the singles event at AMF Chicopee, Savage Arms. The fourth event for the women is the singles event at Callahan's Bowlerama, where we're adding 2,000, where Lisa and family are adding 2,000 to the prize fund. The fifth event is at Hall of Fame Silver Lanes, which is the women's only event, where Joanne is adding 1,000 to that prize fund. And the final event, the sixth event, is at Yankee Lanes, the women only tournament in Manchester. So for those 6 events, there'll be a separate category on the website that's accumulating points for the women just for those events. And Joanne has given us $2,500 to support the women for this particular Cup Series. So that's what Joanne is doing. She's also adding 500 to the Bowler of the Year awards for the women. The discounted entry fees will equate to be roughly about 1,000. So overall, Joanne is supporting the women bowling of New England for the tune of between $5,000 and $5,500, with some leftover money from reduced entry fees from the previous years. So thank you, Joanne, again, for all that you're doing. And again, me and Amy want to see more women. So we threw in, that small little token of our appreciation to try and have members recruit new women to the club. They were bowling some of the tournaments that I bowl, around New England, some of the team tournaments, trio tournaments. I get to see a lot of, good women bowlers that I have not seen at NEBA. So we're very hopeful that we can make a real strong push to bring in as many women bowlers as we can to this structured environment that we have. It's a really good thing. All right. Next, we're going to talk about what Chris Forey is doing. A couple of years ago at our annual awards dinner, which we're going to try and do every 2 years, which we induct people into the Hall of Fame and celebrate the annual awards from the previous years. 2023, we do plan on doing that again. But Paul Forey presented a check for $10,000 to me to lift up this special event that we're doing this year. It has always been a goal of mine to get a large sponsor to do something like the FedEx Cup for our members. And I was close to getting a couple different groups on board, one of them being the Dollar Shave Club, and there were a couple others. But Chris was generous and, stepped up to the table. Pandemic obviously threw this off. So we are running strong this year with this event. And let me go into the details of how this is going to work. There are 8 tournaments. Let me come through here. There are 8 tournaments, which are all slotted here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you can see those under the H category. How you qualify for the finals of this Paul Forey honoring his dad sort of FedEx Cup style is that if you finish in the top 8 in any of these events, you punch a ticket into the finals of the Paul Forey Memorial Cup. Top 8. So first tournament at Nutmeg in April. If you are in the top 8 of that event, you've punched a ticket into the finals. Next tournament, Rutland Bowl. If you're in the top 8, you've punched a ticket into the finals. For the singles event at AMF, if top 8, you punch a ticket. Over on the doubles, the top 4 teams punch a ticket. Now, if you are a multiple punch ticket, which we're going to have plenty of, so let's say you finished 4th at Nutmeg and then you finished 8th at Rutland, 64 people are going to make the finals of this Cup Series. So we've got 8 tournaments slotted. So if we have 8 different top 8 finishers, then that's the 64. We're not going to have that. There'll be multiple people that finish in the top 8. And how that's going to work is by the points. So at the end of Yankee Lanes and Keene, if we've got 54 people, individual people that have punched a ticket, and there are 10 spots still open, it's going to go down the point list to the next 10. So those 54 that have punched a ticket, let's say all 54 in the top 54 in points. Then it's going to go down to 55, 56, 57, down to 64 in total points that will be eligible to participate in the finals of this event. So that's how you qualify to get in the finals. Now, how the finals are going to work, it's going to be a survivor format. And it's going to start October 1st and 2nd at East Providence Lanes. And how this is going to work is those 64 eligible bowlers have to bowl the 9 a.m. squad. So those 64 will have automatic reservations for the 9 a.m. squad. And the top 48 scores of that 9 a.m. squad will move on. The top 16 get eliminated from the finals of the Paul Forey Memorial Cup Series. So top 48 move on, and they move on to the singles event at Yankee Lanes in Manchester. So 48 bowlers that qualified from the 64 will have to bowl the 9 a.m. squad at Manchester. So those 48 will bowl the 9 a.m. squad. They'll be automatically reserved for that squad. And those 48 scores from the 9 a.m. squad, the top 36 move on to the grand finals. So once again, 12 get eliminated and 36 move on. So now the grand finals is the final tournament of the year at Norwich. And how this is going to work is the 36 bowlers that have qualified, you can bowl any squad you want. It's going to be based on where you finish in the tournament. So of those 36, prize fund for this $10,000, which is fully going into this prize fund, gets distributed as follows. So in the L column, it's $2,000 for first, $1,550 for second, $1,125 for third, and so on down the list. Top 20 get paid of those 36, and it is based on where you finish in the tournament. If we have multiple people that tie in where they finish in the tournament, it'll be based on your first qualifying score to determine where you seed and how you get paid for the finals of that event. So again, top 36, where you finish that last tournament will determine where your prize money falls. Top 20 of those 36, based on where you finish, get paid on top of the regular prize fund of the event. This is separate and above from the prize fund of the event. So I can't thank Chris enough for, I've had this vision to do this for a long time. And, we worked, Paul Forey and the special committee on tournaments worked together, Chris Forey, Dave Kipperman, and myself, to come up with the actual format. And this is what we're rolling out for the 2022 season. So that's pretty amazing. So that's it. I mean, that's our slate of tournaments for the year. Our sponsors, incredible support. I just can't thank everyone enough. Those of you that volunteer your time to help manage NEBA, the management team at NEBA and all the work that they do to make these tournaments as smooth as possible, it's just incredible. We had COVID threw us for a loop. 60 some odd years. What is it? Almost 60 years, 58 years with not missing a single month of a tournament. And, nothing we could do about that. We've made it through that period, and we're just going to move forward as strong as we can. And I just want to thank everyone involved. Can't do it without the support of our sponsors and without the volunteer work that so many do to help manage all that we do to pull this together. When I shared our schedule with the Storm staff, the email I got back was, man, that's impressive. For a little regional type club to be able to pull together a schedule like this with this type of sponsor support is pretty amazing. And, I think we all take it for granted once in a while. If you live anywhere else in this country or around the world, it's, you don't have what you have in New England. I know we have a lot of other tournaments to bowl in New England, but this structured scratch tournament that we have and have had for so long, we're hoping that the changes that we've made for 2022 will see an increase in entries. We've reduced the cost to bowl. We're going to make the lanes a little bit softer. And hopefully those two factors, along with all of the sponsor support and these special events, can really make for, an epic 2022 season. So with that said, I am going to close out the broadcast. If you have any questions, you feel free to message or text me. But thank you again, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great holiday season, everyone. Stay safe. And looking forward to seeing everyone January 9th and then into the season. Thank you for your time.
Happy holidays.
Website Happy Holidays. And broadcast. Won't let me end broad. There we go.